Welcome to Days at Dogwood Canyon, a nature podcast brought to you by Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center in Cedar Hill, Texas. This is a podcast that will take you into our 200-acre wildlife preserve in the heart of the DFW Metroplex. Take a quick weekly break with us and get outside with the fresh air, the trees, and of course, the birds. My name is Kirsten, and I'm Center Coordinator Community Programs here at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center. Welcome, listeners, to our Days at Dogwood Canyon podcast. This is a 10-minute podcast about nature, birds, plants, and us. We will talk about how we all rely on each other to live our best lives. This episode highlights a national Audubon project that is aiming to unravel the mystery of the purple martin. Now, some of you may be saying, there's a mystery involving the purple martin? And others of you may be saying, what is a purple martin? Both great questions, listeners. Let's start with the second one first. The purple martin is a bird in the swallow family. The males are a beautiful iridescent dark blue to purple color, which is where they get the purple in their name. The females are fairly close in color, being only a few shades lighter. These birds are most well known in North America for their colony-style nesting. The big white condominium birdhouses you see mounted on tall poles, or the groupings of gourds mounted on tall poles, offer the perfect housing for this group nester. In the eastern portion of North America, purple martins nest almost exclusively in these man-made structures, while in the southwest and western portions of North America, they still use natural cavities that can be found in old-growth cactus and dead or dying trees. Purple martins are migratory birds that spend their summertime in North America and winter in tropics of Central and South America. So what's the big mystery surrounding the purple martin? As with many songbird species, their numbers are declining. And aside from the typical habitat loss and insecticide use that is impacting all songbirds around the world, scientists don't know why. According to an article in Audubon Magazine's Fall 2022 issue, the North American breeding population of the purple martin has decreased by 25% since 1966. In some areas, it's more than that, and in others, they have disappeared completely. Researchers and conservationists would love to know why, and if we can help bring back their populations. The biggest unknown in this purple martin mystery is what they encounter on their long journey south each fall. Purple martins are very loyal to their nesting sites in North America, which makes them perfect study subjects. Many of them have been banded while in their breeding colonies, and several have been outfitted with trackers that can easily be recovered to retrieve data. The blank spots in our knowledge of their whereabouts begins when they fly south. We have no idea where they are going or what they are encountering. For many years, there were rumors that they spent some time in the Amazon, but it was assumed they were just passing through. In 2007, a biologist from York University in Toronto outfitted 20 purple martins with geolocator devices that she recovered the next spring from 2 of the birds upon their return to Canada. When she processed the data, she discovered that 1 of the birds did, indeed, spend the winter in the Amazon, and the other spent the winter much farther south. It was just a tiny bit of data, but it was somewhere to start. 7 years later, more purple martins were outfitted with geolocators, and even more data was collected upon their return. Now it was time to try and find them in their wintering grounds in person. The geolocator data gives us an idea of where they've been within a 200-mile radius, so that's a lot of ground to cover. These are wild birds. They don't always stick to the exact same pattern, so they make their travel decisions based on weather and available resources, which can change at a moment's notice. Finding them was proving to be difficult, until in 2019, a rumor proved to be fruitful. A local resident had shown a student researcher a flock of birds only 20 miles from the spot scientists had been looking. Bingo! It was the roosting place of 250,000 purple martins. It was a tiny island that is completely submerged in the winter, except for the tops of the trees. The biologists had to use a boat to get close to the trees to investigate. Once they were able to get close enough to the island, they caught as many birds as possible to band and record their biometrics. Each year, they were able to catch approximately 100 birds, and they did, of course, release them again. And everyone was at a weight that indicated they were on their way north. So this little island was a stopover on their migration route north. Radio tags attached to these individuals showed that they had stayed at this island for just about 2 weeks. So this gives scientists hope that our counts of purple martin populations may be lower than in reality. There could be 1.5 million purple martins flying through this one spot. So this is both happy news and concerning news. Now that we know that many birds potentially rely on this one path, we must organize conservation efforts to ensure that this resource will be available to them into the future. But this is what we were hoping for this research, a look into what purple martins need the most and how we can help them. And with this information, at least a portion of the purple martin mystery has been solved.